I had hunted in the Black Hills since I was 16, not for sport or family tradition, but because it was the only thing that kept me sane after weeks working in a shop where the noise never stopped. In the forest, the silence was honest. If something made a sound, there was a concrete reason, or so I believed, until that morning. I left before dawn, carrying my rifle and a light pack. My goal was to check an area where, according to some co-workers, deer had started moving erratically, abandoning their usual routes. There was a thin layer of fresh snow on the ground, perfect for tracking. Within minutes, I found the first footprints. 3 deer had passed through during the night, but something caught my attention, the section where the tracks suddenly opened apart, as if the animals had changed direction abruptly. It wasn't normal. I followed that diversion and, farther ahead, found a second sign. Deep impressions in the snow, spaced too far apart to belong to a bear and far too large to be from any person. They weren't clean footprints, but something enormous had walked through, enough to send the deer fleeing without looking back. I entered a narrow canyon where the pines grew so close that the wind barely made it through. The smell was strange, earthy, damp, mixed with something animal yet unfamiliar. I advanced a bit more, and then I heard it, a rough cracking sound, like heavy branches bending under a weight that shouldn't be there. I stopped. I raised the rifle, not to fire, but by instinct. In those hills, any unexpected sound deserves respect. The forest went still. Then, between 2 darkened trunks, I saw it move. Not suddenly, not violently. It shifted slowly, precisely, as if the creature knew exactly which branches to avoid to keep them from breaking. A tall, massive body covered in dark fur that swallowed the little light available. For a moment, I thought it might be a bear standing upright, but the silhouette was unmistakable. Broad shoulders, arms too long, a head leaning forward, watching. Bigfoot. It stood no more than 20 meters away. The animal, whatever it was, didn't show its teeth or make a sound. It only looked at me, and in that look there was something I had never felt with wildlife before. Assessment, not curiosity. I lowered the rifle, very slowly. There was no point in aiming. There was no direct threat, and firing would have been stupidity. Every hunter knows when he is facing something he shouldn't challenge. The creature stepped to the side, away from me, and the snow groaned under its weight with a deep, resonant sound. It pushed aside a young tree with an ease that chilled the blood. It didn't break it. It simply moved it to pass. I understood it only wanted to continue on its path. I stepped back once, without losing sight of it. It stopped too, as if confirming I wasn't trying to cross into its route. Then it slipped between the pines, unhurried, unafraid, as if the forest had been built to fit it. Silence returned seconds later, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't natural. It was a silence that demanded respect. That day, I stopped thinking of the Black Hills as a place I knew. There are things out there that aren't on any map, and some of them look back at you. I had worked as a surveyor in the Black Hills for more than 5 years, and even then, that stretch of forest felt unfamiliar. I'd been hired to check a property boundary after some drones detected an anomaly, an almost circular clearing where previous records showed nothing but dense timber. The owners feared illegal logging. I was just curious. Clearings like that don't appear out of nowhere. I arrived around midday. The light fell straight between the pines, and the air smelled of fresh sap. I walked about 500 meters, following the coordinates, pushing aside damp branches. As I got closer, I noticed a heavier scent, earthy and strong, like soil recently disturbed. The clearing appeared all at once, like a sharp cut in the vegetation. There were no signs of machinery, no traces of cutting. The ground was even, compacted, and what caught my attention most were the trees at the edge. None were uprooted or chopped. They just had slight shifts in their tilt, barely noticeable but recent, like when a large animal pushes between trunks and they give just enough to let it pass. Some had bark scraped on one side, all at the same height, something no tool or wind could have caused. That subtlety, the kind of disturbance only a massive body moving through can make, made the silence feel even stranger. I marked the point on my GPS, looked up, and there it was. On the opposite side of the clearing, behind a fallen log, something rose. At first, I thought it was a bear, but the shape was different, too upright, too steady. It didn't stand like a startled animal. It revealed itself, as if it had known I was there long before I saw it. Bigfoot didn't burst out of the trees. It had been standing there from the start. Its fur was thick, with mixed brown tones. The arms were long, unnaturally long. Its posture was firm, no tension in its muscles, but no ease either. It was the stance of something evaluating a situation without having decided what to do next. I stayed still, whether out of caution or fear, I couldn't tell. The creature tilted its head just a few degrees, a simple gesture that felt more unsettling than any sound. It took one step. The ground answered with a deep thud, not aggressive, but heavy enough to leave no doubt about its size. It pushed aside a thick branch with no effort, as if it were nothing more than an obstacle it moved daily. When the midday light reached its face, I noticed something unexpected. Focus. Not aggression, not confusion, pure attention. I took a step back. It reacted too, its body tightening slightly, without advancing. A silent, unmistakable warning. It understood I was leaving, but it wanted to see how. I backed away slowly, keeping eye contact until the trees covered me. Only once I was out of the clearing did the sounds return. Birds, wind, the forest's usual life. I didn't look back. I knew it was still there, in that space no one had documented until that day. I never fully trusted the official maps of the Black Hills. Trails shift with the rains, trees fall and turn clear routes into mazes. So when the search team asked me to guide a small expedition into a little explored ravine, I agreed only because I knew the area better than most. They called it the Nameless Ravine, a narrow cut between rocky slopes where, according to reports, someone had heard screams the night before. There were 3 of us, me in front, a paramedic behind, and a local volunteer bringing up the rear. We set out at dawn. The air was cold, too cold for that time of year, and the birds seemed to avoid that sector. It wasn't silent, but there was a tangible absence of life, something hard to explain if you've never walked these hills. The ravine opened between 2 walls of dark rock that blocked almost all direct light. We walked along a dry creek bed full of loose stones. Every step echoed, distorting any sound, even our voices. The paramedic checked his GPS and muttered that the signal kept fluctuating, as if something were interfering with it. We didn't think much of it at first. That happens often in the Black Hills. 15 minutes in, we found something that made all 3 of us stop at the same time. A strip of broken branches forming a sort of corridor about 5 meters wide. But the strange part wasn't the shape, it was the height. The breaks were more than 2.5 meters off the ground, far too high for any local animal. The branches weren't torn off, they were bent inward, as if something huge had passed through, pushing them aside effortlessly. The volunteer, who had hunted in the area for years, said something I didn't expect from someone usually so calm. This wasn't an elk, and it doesn't look like a rockfall. We kept going, not wanting to admit the possibility of something bigger down there. The creek bed narrowed and the wind stopped circulating. A strong smell hit us, not of decay, but of wet earth mixed with something animal-like, yet unfamiliar. A smell that made you think of something that shouldn't be there. Then we heard footsteps. They weren't light or repetitive. It was more like a deep pressure in the rock, as if a massive weight was settling behind a bend in the path. We froze. No one spoke. The steps didn't approach or retreat. They just stayed there, breathing with a slow, heavy rhythm. The paramedic raised his hand for silence, though we were already quiet. He moved 1/2 meter to peek around the bend. He never fully turned. From the darkness came a sudden, solid strike against the rock wall, as if a massive arm had hit it on purpose. The echo was so powerful, we felt the vibration through our boots. We backed out without running, but with a kind of urgency that didn't need words. Whatever was down there didn't want us approaching us, but it didn't want us getting closer either. When we exited the ravine, the air returned to normal. The sounds came back, and all three of us agreed without needing to discuss it. There was nothing human waiting for us down there.